Okay, so in a world of gods, demons, devils, dragons, trolls, bipedal cold-blooded creatures, and all manner of wondrous sights and sounds, with an eternity of mischief, mayhem, and fun to be had, there is a well-populated mass of land by the name of Mateia. The continent of Mateia was created 900 years ago after the Great Divergence, the cataclysmic event that destroyed at least 50% of the land on the planet, leaving much left to be rebuilt. With a significant portion of the remaining populace flocking inland, three major regions of Mateia were established: the Motalian theocracy to the southeast, the kingdom of El Safasi to the west, and the largest and most central of the three, the Swiflinese Empire. While the primary seat of power for the continent can be found in the heart of the Swiflinese Empire, with armies looming on its borders and political tensions at an all-time high, our story actually begins somewhere much, much smaller. In a port town on the western edge of the kingdom of El Safasia, known as Sanwa. Oliver, doing your daily morning exercise routine, no different from any other day. You find yourself in a particularly foul mood, one which no amount of plyometrics seems to be able to reduce. No amount of exercise seems to be shaking this feeling of loss and betrayal that's enveloping you this morning. Turning from your ritualistic daily trainings to the sanctity of your kitchen, you try to find some hope. Bare as it may be, with nothing except hanging tomatoes and jars aplenty, the kitchen always reminds you of a better time, a more hopeful time, a time where you could build. Build a meal for yourself, for your others. Build a future that brought your community together as a family. Build memories that can even outlast the oldest stars in the night sky. Lingering in your thoughts for a little bit longer than usual, you recall a moment that recently Jimbo Haverschmidt, the owner of the local tavern, they asked for you to stop by um, because they had some need of your skills. As you uh, as you grab your necklace of Tritherion and your weapons and your clothing and your armor, please go ahead and describe your character for the party.
Bueller.
What do you look like, Kellen? What does your character look like? Oh no.
Yeah, one.
As he uh, as he starts walking towards the center of town, towards the tavern run by Jimbo, named the Drowned Tusk, he seems to catch a glimpse of a strange glimmering in the air, about 15 feet away. As he stops and he stares, there seems to be this weird green, blue, purpling, um, almost puddle-like portal shape appearing. Um, and as he stares a little bit longer, a a machination of a human-shaped figure seems to be thrust in your general direction. Neo, you find yourself at your desk, bathing in the dull blue light of a glowing screen, something to which you've become all too accustomed. Small, metallic cylinders fill your bedchamber, Fabric pulled closed over your windows, keeping the brightness of the outside world at bay. Yet another session, you found yourself losing track of time. How long have you been staring at this blue glow? 12 hours? 3 days? A week? Time itself seems to have become something that has fallen out of love with you. As you hit the menagerie of buttons in front of you, in a manner similar to that of a conductor commanding his orchestra, a feeling begins to build inside of you. At first, it's like a spark, that of a freshly lit match. Slowly, the spark starts to grow in size and brightness. You hit the buttons at an ever increasing speed, with a sense of urgency you haven't acknowledged in what feels like eons. The screen glows brighter, the adrenaline in your blood pumps at an amazing speed, to a point at which you feel like your fingers are moving faster than you can think. As the orchestra of button hitting reaches its pinnacle, you stroke the final key and the glow immediately disappears, filling your room with an impenetrable, heavy darkness. What feels like minutes goes by when, against all probabilities, your room is filled with a vibrant purple glow, and the space around you seems to shift, pulling you forward with amazing strength. Do you try to resist this gravitational pull?
Um, I'm gonna say no because I've overclocked my CPU many a times, and maybe this is something new. Maybe I've hit a new level of speed on the
Okay,
many CPUs that I own, and I'm
okay.
just kind of going with it.
As you as you don't resist this pull, this gravitational field pulling you closer towards it, you are pulled forward with drastic speed into this void. And as you're traveling through this void, all of your senses seem to be almost overshadowed by just colors of every type, colors you could never even imagine before. Sounds, smells, feelings. You feel your physicality begin to shift and begin to change. And as you look down at your flesh, you see that it is no longer that of your normal human shape. Go ahead and describe what your character looks like, please.
Yeah. So as I take form, I am transformed into this kind of, if you would imagine, kind of like a combo of C3PO and Ant Man, kind of merging together. So um, I'm metallic in shape. I have human form, but um, I'm made of metal. Um, but I'm almost bionic. That
Okay. As you see your fleshy exterior kind of morph into that of metals and other materials that you would normally use to make machinery, you feel that the urge to breathe seems to have disappeared. The hair on your head seems to disappear. Your body feels cold, metallic, and very, very smooth. It's almost like the blood in your body it's no longer warm. It's been replaced with a cold oil or cold, some other liquid that seems to maybe be powering your new form. As
instead
you,
of
hmm,
instead of blood vessels, let's just say my it's been replaced with a liquid cooling system.
yes, as you are forced out of this strange portal, you land on the ground. You seem to be staring up at this strange, fiery looking man, and when he is able to get into voice chat, I will have Kellen describe what his character looks like as you have slammed down in front of his character. Golos, walking through the dusty alleyways of Sanwa, you find that the locals seem to be avoiding your dirty, vagabondish nature. Eyes dart away from yours, and residents seem to take a wide berth around you as you clamber in their direction. The scent of death seemingly clinging to you like a rotting corpse. Your history in this town is nothing short of non existent, really. You found yourself here 5 days ago, after wandering the woods for about a week, only seeming to acquire any form of kindness or acknowledgement from those who are cast out as beggars and vagrants. You seem to be searching for something, or someone, a person maybe, or perhaps a group of people. Yes, yes, that's it. A group to help strengthen the fortitude that you have in your beliefs and move you closer to your goal. As you take stock of those avoiding your gaze, Golos, go ahead and make a perception check for me, please. 14. Okay. Um, as
True.
as you stand there and you look around, you see a weird shimmering in the air, and you see out of nowhere a a humanoid seems to tumble almost as if out of midair. Um, and this humanoid doesn't seem to have a fleshy form. It almost seems to be mechanical in some way. You see standing in front of them is a fiery skinned male male humanoid. And as you're standing there seeing this strange scene unfold, go ahead and describe what your character looks like, please.
So I look rather unassuming. I'm in a tattered cape and outfit. Um, my dusty brown hair looks like it's been unwashed for a couple of weeks now, and there is a smell about me, but it smells of death. And I am dressed as nothing more than a common beggar, but with sullen eyes that tell a story.
As you are staring um, and you're seeing the scene unfold with this humanoid falling seemingly out of thin air, and this red skinned male humanoid kind of staring at them, confused as to what just happened, um, you hear um, you hear bells ringing out loudly, and people begin screaming, "Goblins! Goblins are attacking!" And you hear this from 10 feet away. You hear it all from many, many different directions, but you see a person specifically, a woman, comes sprinting by you, just screaming goblins, holding her side. She seems to be bleeding from somewhere. You can't quite tell, but she has blood soaking through her robes that she seems to be wearing, and she's sprinting, um, panting heavily, holding the blood. And we move over to Kaichar, I think is how you say the name. Frequently the traveler. You spend most of your days earning coin and keeping a low profile no matter where you go. You tend to spend as short as time as possible in each town, completing odd jobs, reaping the rewards, and moving on before too many questions can be asked of who you are and where you're from. This morning, you find yourself lying in bed, planning the next location to which you intend to travel, and reveling in the amount of coin that you've made on the most recent jobs that you've been completing since you arrived in this town
Hello.
4 days ago. As you're laying there, counting the coin that's in your coin purse, with a nice ocean kind of salt tinged breeze making its way through the through the windows, you start hearing the screams of goblins. You hear people screaming, goblins, the town is under attack. You hear bells ringing. And you realize that while tragic, people being murdered relentlessly by goblin invaders, that this may be the perfect opportunity to make some coin, find some useful items, and get out of town before anyone can figure out why you're here. Uh, Hopping out of bed, grabbing your equipment, moving quickly outside toward the voices and the screams, please go ahead and describe what your character looks like.
So my character is wearing a black cloak. Nothing fancy, but very well kept. Clearly new. Short, cropped white hair, but most features hidden so as to not draw attention. Um, yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. As um as you burst out of your residence or where you're staying, um, you start moving towards the sounds of the primary screams. You see a woman holding her side with blood seemingly soaking through her her clothes, and you see these three other strange-looking people um, who don't seem to be running from the action. They don't seem to be running from or towards the action. They're kind of just standing there in almost an indecisive stupor on what to do next. You see a red-skinned male. You see this weird mechanical-looking um, humanoid, and you see this almost homeless, vagabondish type of person who are a very, well, strange crew to just be hanging out together. You don't know if they are associates in some manner, if they're just people passing through town, um, not quite sure what's going on, or if they are on their way out, or if they intend to follow the screams to fulfill the same idea that you've had of making some quick coin before piecing out of this place. So as you start to walk in their general direction, Raoul, you find yourself inside the Drowned Tusk, the local tavern of Sanwa, playing through another slow lunch shift at the behest of Jimbo Haverschmidt, your current boss and tavern owner. Wielding, you're still using a baby grand piano, correct?
Oh, I'm still absolutely using a paper piano.
Okay. Wielding your baby grand piano that is strapped to your large minotaur-esque figure in almost a cross-chest racing harness kind of manner. You are playing sea shanties as the audience are mainly fishermen and workers of the waves. So you hope that playing something that they might be more familiar with or can relate to a little bit more um, would. What is that? Oh,
What am I playing? I'm playing Brandy.
well, shh. As you are playing these sea shanties, you hope that in doing so you can inspire others to maybe get out and live more of a productive life, or more so, inspire them to pay you and gain some inspiration yourself to continue writing your own music and developing um, your own ballads to work towards your goals. Standing on this old, creaking wooden stage in a darkened corner of this tavern, you come to a very quick, harsh realization once again that you're not human and that this stage was not built to support someone with a stature such as yours. Feeling the wood giving away beneath your feet, you feel the planks start to bow. The not unfamiliar sound of splintering wood fills the air as you fall into a suddenly collapsing stage. Go ahead and roll for me a dexterity saving throw, please. So, you actually get a +3, so you have a 9. But as the stage collapses underneath you, it's only maybe a foot and a half high off of the main floor, so you don't take any damage. It's more so that it cracked beneath you, and it's more of an embarrassment for you. Not an uncommon one at that. But you do hear from across the way, "What the hell do you think you're doing? You're supposed to be playing for the crowd, not destroying my damn bar. Get the hell out!" As you pull your hooves out from the collapsed stage that gave way underneath your very large figure, go ahead and describe your character, please.
So Raul Esteban de Cortez is obviously a Minotaur. He's 7'7", weighs about 800 pounds. He has black leather spandex type pants on and a puffy white shirt a la Seinfeld. He has a red rose carnation and has a baby grand piano. He's a piece of work. He also identifies as human. He doesn't recognize the fact that he is a Minotaur because he was raised by a circus. So you know, he has some identity problems.
Talking right now, I'm just super nervous. I'm talking over whoever's talking.
That's fine, Kellen.
You can hear me.
Yes.
Hey,
so,
Kellen.
So as you get yelled at by the owner of this bar, whose stage you just destroyed under your much larger weight than you believe yourself to be. Like you said, you see yourself as a normal human male when in fact you're probably 3 times the weight of a normal human male, and that stage is not built for that. It is old, it is rickety, and you went through it. Leaving the tavern at the behest of the tavern owner, you enter the chaos that is multiple sit-ins at this point, yelling, "Goblins! Goblins everywhere!" You look, you see a couple of different people who have scratches down their faces across their backs. You see one person laying on the ground face down in a dirty mud puddle with 3 arrows sticking in their back. And as you look over to kind of see where all the hustle and bustle is originating from, you do see this strange group of humanoid folks. At this point, you see again the machine metal, strange looking human. You see what's more than likely a vagabond. You see a person in all black, and then Kellen, if you would like to go ahead and describe officially what Oliver looks like. Maybe.
Maybe.
So, there you are. Cool.
I'm dressed kind of like a wandering Ronin knight. I was the best guard at Olive Garden before the millennials came and destroyed that kingdom. I actually learned a technique, a way to heat and fold the bottomless breadsticks in such a way that made it into the sharpest weapon in all of Middle Earth here. I'm basically just trying to roam the world right now and earn enough coin to open my own restaurant.
As you guys all kind of meander in the general direction, but you keep seeing people running past you, yelling, "Save us! Save us from the goblins!" They seem to be yelling at you all specifically since you don't seem to be running. And you do have weapons on you. You seem like you might be able to do something about this problem. And one person who you don't know if it's the speaker of the town or just a random commoner, they stop. They're panting, so they're curled over. And they look up. You go, "If you stop them from destroying our town, we'll pay you. Just come find us when you've saved us." And takes off running. So I'm going to kick you over to the map of Sanwa, and you might recognize Alex and Victor, but you know, because it's a map you've seen a year ago.
I don't know what you're talking about.
This is a new place, man.
I know, right? Whole new world. Let me toss you guys on the map real fast. Oops. So I'm gonna toss y'all on this map. You guys should have your token control specifically. Okay, and then this person, he's the person you saw, ran through your group, said you could make a little bit of money, and then they just took off and they disappeared over here somewhere. You don't know specifically where they're going. As you guys stand and look around, you see that there are some goblins that do seem to be a little far off in the distance. The feet on this is going to be a little bit off, but you can see about 100 feet ahead of you. There is at least one goblin, and as you stare, you see there are some that seem to be coming in from out of town. So we're going to go ahead and get right on into it, and we are just going to go ahead and roll initiative. So basically, click on your token, go back to your sheet, and click on the initiative number, and it should automatically roll for you, put you in the token.
That's shitty.
4. So, and if it doesn't, I'll just add you to the thing.
Damn.
No worries.
Sorry. One more time for the slow people, the old men here.
So,
what am I supposed to do?
So if you click on your token, the little picture that you have of yourself, and then go over to your D&D Beyond page, you should see on your character sheet there is something that says initiative, and on yours it's probably like a +2 or a +3. It's right beside your armor class, and that will be. This basically determines where you go in the turn order.
A lot of things.
Yeah. Yours is a +1. So.
Where can I find?
Let me find this guy. So if you're looking at your sheet, so you see how you have your big table in the middle that has like acrobatics, animal handling, and all those skills.
Mm-hmm.
If you look directly to the right of that, there's a little box that just says initiative and it has a +1 in it. That is your initiative. Yep. And if you click on that, it will.
What do I do from here?
You just click on it, and it should automatically roll for you.
I think mine worked, right?
Yes, it rolled it 3 times. So we're gonna take the one that you rolled first.
Whoops.
No,
Okay.
you're fine. I can always change it. It's not a problem. And you actually both +1, +1.
It rolled a 10. Do I have to put that in, or how?
It should automatically be synced. Do you have the Beyond 20 extension on your thing set up?
Extension? No.
Are you using Google Chrome?
Safari.
Okay, so what you can do then is I don't know how to use it through Safari, but since we're already here, what you can do is in Roll20 type / or / roll 1d20 +1, and then that will give you your initiative.
You also have the little quick bar in the top left.
Yeah, if you want to do it that way. That gets more complicated. So 3. Okay, cool. So that will be
I got an
your
11 on the other one.
Well, we'll go with that one because that's the one that is. And I'm just gonna put Kaiser. I'll put Golo at 4.1 since you rolled first. So then let me go ahead and put these guys in initiative order real fast. Oops. Goblin. Okay. Oh, these are all.
How wide's the street?
It's 20 feet wide. It's wide enough that if you all walked in a line, you could all walk across.
Are you counting for me taking up technically a 10 by 10?
You don't take up a 10 by 10. You take up a 5 by 5. You're a medium creature. Yeah, you're a medium creature.
What?
Yep. No player characters in Dungeons and Dragons 5e are bigger standard than medium creatures. You can be small and you can be medium. You are not. Even Goliaths aren't large creatures. Everything is medium.
That's stupid. Okay.
There's a way to
We're
become
all
larger.
considered medium, aren't we?
Yeah, you're all considered medium.
Yeah.
I mean, if you.
It's just
Yeah,
been
Ty-
so long. I've played.
Don't worry, Ty. You're a grower.
Okay, so this is the order that we're gonna go in. So, Goblin Commoner, this one's gonna go first. They're gonna use 30 feet of their movement and just book it into the town to, well, we'll say about here, because this math is not gonna be right. That's their turn. Actually, they'll use their action and run even further. So that's their whole turn. They can't do anything else. Neo, it is your turn. You see these goblins and these other folk in front of you, somebody's ran by, said, "Save us, and we'll pay you." What are you gonna do?
All right. Well, as I was just, transported here from another dimension,
Uh-huh.
I'm a little disoriented
Yep.
as I think to myself, wow, it's World of Warcraft's in another dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. So I'm going to. How far is the nearest goblin to me?
The map says it's 45 feet. We'll say this is
Okay.
about right. So it's like 40
50?
feet from you. Yeah, we'll say this is close
40?
to right. Yeah, so it's technically 47 feet, but we'll say it's 40. You can get within 30 feet of it if you really wanted to. Within 15 feet if you want to. Not a problem.
Yeah.
This map is just obviously this would be further than 45 feet in reality of how big a town is, but you know.
All right. Well, then I'm going to. Um, Figuring out that I was transported here with a short bow somehow that was in, you know,
Hmm.
somehow I have that object. I'm going to take that out and shoot at the first goblin just because I see them running at us and I don't want them getting any closer. Goblins are bad.
Okay. All right. So go
So,
ahead and roll your attack on the
right.
goblin.
Short bow. There we go.
Oh, that definitely hits. And as you see Neo or this robotic looking man unleash an arrow through all of you with tremendous aim, it actually punctures right through the goblin's skull, and that one actually one shots the goblin. Right.
Get fucked.
As I do a Steph Curry point.
All right. Do you want to move or anything on your turn?
I'm going to stay where I am because I'm kind of gauging the scene right now. I'm not going to charge towards the guys
Okay.
that look kind of mean.
All right.
Eventually I will, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. So this next goblin is going to come sprinting up into town as well, and they're going to take their full turn to get up here. And as these guys are running, you see that there are actually a few more goblins who are making their way into town. So he's basically using his old movement and action to get up there. Raul, it's your turn. I'm just going to roll their initiative for them too.
Raul is displeased. Bartender called him fat.
Yeah, basically.
So is there a limit on terms of distance for a dash action?
So if you use your action to dash, it will basically it'll double your movement, but you won't be able to do anything else on your turn as an action.
I can.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can. So, but like if you take your action, so if you use your movement and run 30 feet, and then use your action to dash, you could dash 30 more feet, but you wouldn't be able to do any additional attacks or anything else that requires the action.
I'll be able to do Goring Rush.
Oh yeah, if that's part of if that's part of a thing that you can do as your race, then sure.
So I'm gonna go ahead and gore one of these little bastards. I'm gonna just dash at the closest one and gore him.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, so you use the attack as the bonus action. Okay, that's how
Yeah.
Goring Rush works. Cool. So yeah, you go ahead and do that.
Apparently, I no longer have my great axe and I have a dagger.
Yes.
Whatever.
I don't know where that went.
It doesn't matter.
That's fine.
All right. So
Run to whoever you want to run to.
Did you drag my dude?
Yep, you
Okay.
just drag your dude, and then we'll get you there.
All right. Are there attacks of opportunity still?
Which guy are you running to?
Well, I'm just saying, do I trigger an attack of opportunity if I try to run past the first guy and hit the second guy?
Yeah, you'll trigger it.
Okay.
So.
I'll do that then.
That's fine. Cool. So go ahead and roll a horn attack on the guy. Cool. Yes. And so for that, if you just click the actual, so now that's your attack roll. So if you click on the word horns, it will roll your damage for you. Bam. 6. You split this guy into as you gore him, and he dies.
That's not gonna come out.
So as you charge on all fours, basically, put your horns through him, lift him up, he dies, and you're just showered in goblin blood. Since you used your action to dash and you used your bonus action for that attack, you still have your movement if you want to take more movement, or you can stay there. It's up to you.
What the hell?
Okay,
Still
cool.
set up.
So you roll up on this guy, and he's ready to go. So that guy you actually just rolled up on, he's gonna go ahead and he's gonna try and take a club attack at you. Does a 10 hit your AC?
No.
It misses. Cool. So you charge up on this guy. He swings a club down. It's not so much that he misses you, it's that he hits you, but your skin is so leathery tough that you just snort out hot breath in his face, and it doesn't seem to have any effect on you at all. Um, this next goblin is going to run up on you, and he's just going to try and do the same thing. He's going to try and club you with a small little makeshift weapon that he has. A 15 to hit. And
Yeah.
since the minimum damage that you have to take is 1, you take 1 damage. So,
Oh no.
yep, so you take 1 total damage. And Golos, it is your turn.
Okay. So would that be about 60 feet, or would that be like more 30?
That'd be about 30 feet.
Okay. And then would I notice that either of these goblins might be injured or bloodied?
The neither one of them are injured or bloodied. Neither one have been hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll sigh and nah, not again. I'm just trying to make it through this town. And I'll look at the goblin to the left of the Minotaur, and I'll point and I'll snap and use Toll of the Dead.
Okay. And so that's what, a wisdom saving throw, if I recall?
Yes.
Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Wisdom save of 13 for both of those guys. And is that your Reaper spell that you can split it between 2 of them? Because I think you chose that as
Yes,
your
it
Reaper.
is.
Okay, so you get to attack both of them. Okay, cool. So they both will make saves. Oh, they both fail. Um, as you, Raoul, are charging in, you see this other goblin run up in your face. Both take club swings at you. One of them barely touches you for barely any damage at all, just a meager scratch. But then out of nowhere, you see these bells seem to appear above your head. And you're musically inclined, so I mean, you know what bells are supposed to sound like. But all of a sudden, they emit this harsh, dissonant, almost discordic anti-melody between the 2 goblins, and they both cover their ears, shrieking in pain, and they both actually die because they both took 7 damage. And you see the goblins fall to the ground, blood oozing from their ears. Is that your turn, Golos?
Let's see. Bonus action. I will move up here, and then that'd be turn.
So you can't dash on your bonus action, but we'll just say you had enough movement left that you got there, no problem. So, Kaiser, it is your turn. You just see wave after wave of goblins just coming in hot.
Okay, so I'm gonna need a little hand holding. What are my options here?
So, if you look on your character sheet,
Yes.
I just picked spells for you earlier based on what your background was. We can always change these later when we talk about them. I'm just like, what makes sense for what he said? These, okay, probably will work. So
yeah,
you
I read
have,
through 'em, they work, yeah.
yeah. So you have one spell which can shoot 120 feet. So if you wanted to shoot that, you don't even really have to move. Well, maybe a little bit closer so you can see them. But you have Eldritch Blast. It tells you your range on it, and it tells you what the damage is. So you can do that. If something's 10 feet away from you, you could poison spray. Or if you wanted to try and charm something that's fairly close to you, you can try charm person. And Hellish Rebuke is a spell that you can use if somebody
After
hits
I get hit.
Yeah, as long as they're within 60 feet of you, you can cast it. You don't have to cast it, but just know that where it says first level, if you look over to the right beside the word pact, you have 1. You have 1 cast of a spell between those 2 spells, but you get that back after a short rest. So you as a warlock will be shooting a lot of cantrips, and you can always change your cantrip after the session if you just see ones you like better. But Eldritch Blast is effectively the most powerful cantrip in the game So it's like a spell you
Gotcha.
can cast infinitely.
Can I do this as an action? Can I change my voice to match that of the goblins and sound a retreat to sow confusion in their ranks?
You can certainly try. So what you can do for that is just go ahead and roll a persuade. Do you speak Goblin?
Um, I don't know.
You,
How would I know that?
if you look to the on the bottom left of your sheet, there's that red box, and you have armor, weapons, tools, and languages. You speak
Common,
Common, Draconic,
draconic,
and
and
Primal.
primordial.
So you don't speak Draconic or Goblin, and they don't speak Common. So they only speak Goblin. So you could yell, but you feel like it might not do anything. So,
Yeah, that would be dumb. Okay,
so
got you.
it's up to you.
In that case, I'll just launch an Eldritch Blast
Okay.
at the nearest goblin.
Okay, so that would be this first one right here. So go ahead and just roll your Eldritch Blast attack.
So that's just clicking the hit DC.
Yep. So if you just click
Okay.
on it and you can just bring it up and it should roll and it should theoretically, yep. And then just, you'll definitely hit it with a 16. Go ahead and click on the Eldritch Blast pink button and it will roll your damage for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know why it's popping up like that. I think it's just doing something strange.
Did that work?
It did not for some. It rolled the actual attack, but see how if you look in roll 20, it has Eldritch Blast highlighted in pink or red or whatever color that is. If you click,
No.
well, it's red for me, but if you click on Eldritch Blast, it will do the damage like that, and you did 8 damage, and you murdered this goblin. It
Poor goblin.
explodes. Okay. Do you want to move any on your turn?
Yeah. If I can get up to,
You got
I don't
30.
know if it's
Yeah,
possible.
you got 30 feet of movement, so you could probably get to like the split street a little bit if you wanted to.
Okay. That's
Okay.
where I want to be.
Cool. Oliver Guardsman, it is your turn.
I can't get over your name. It's awesome.
What do you want to do, Mr. Guardsman?
Can I attack?
You can. What do you have that you can attack with? You might actually need to get closer.
I was gonna say I feel like I might need to get closer here.
Let's see. So you have produce flame, where you can basically throw that. I think you can throw that 30 feet, right? If you needed to, you can throw that 30 feet, or for equipment, you have a crossbow. You can shoot a crossbow.
Oh, I'm gonna crossbow it up.
Okay, so that shoots 80 feet without penalty. So if you want to move a little bit closer towards like these guys, you'll definitely be in range, and you can shoot that first goblin without
Let's do
any
it.
problem. Okay. So go ahead and roll an attack, please. You have 13 HP, I think.
Did it work this time? I'm in
Uh,
Chrome now.
So for some reason it still has your video and stuff turned on, but it's cool. It did not roll the attack, but if you do you have the extension turned on in Chrome?
What extension am I supposed to get?
Beyond 20.
Well, I'll just do it regular for this one, and I'll
Okay,
try to have that
cool.
ready.
Yep. So it's
next
just
turn.
it is 1d20 plus 3. So if you just do / roll space 1d20 plus 3, it will give you the attack roll. If it doesn't work, I can always just click it for you and kick it through. It's not a problem. Let's do this. Bam. See if it works for me. Alright, so I rolled it, but it didn't roll well. So if you want to roll it, I just want to make sure it worked. You can just type / roll space 1d20 plus 3, and that will roll the attack for you in roll 20.
Look.
That worked?
So yep, that worked. It still missed. So you running up with a crossbow, you launch off a crossbow bolt, and goblins being smaller, tiny creatures, they just kind of evaded it a little bit and got out the way. All right, so you use your movement, your action, and then bam. So, Neo, it's your turn. You do see, yeah, everything's a little far away from you right now, so you'd have to move closer to be able to do any attacks or anything.
Yep.
Unless you have something that you
So-
could shoot that far.
I don't think I have anything remotely close to that.
Do you have Firebolt?
Where's my sheet go? No.
Because that's 120 feet if you do.
I do have Firebolt.
You can launch a
How'd you pull
Firebolt.
up the how'd you pull up the rangefinder on there?
Oh, so if you, all the toolbar that's on your left of your screen,
Yeah.
there's one that's like a circle with like a ruler thing looking in it. If you highlight that and click on Snap to Center, it really looks like a weird circle with a line in it. And then you can just click on a spot on the map and you can just drag it around.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, and then if you want to get back to be able to go to your token, you go up to the top arrow one and then you just click on Select Move.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And then if you like click and hold in the left mouse button, you'll make these little circles appear and you can just highlight something like that.
Okay.
So-
Cool.
And you can always change your color just by clicking on the color of your name down at the bottom
Okay.
of the screen.
Fantabulous.
Cool. All right, Neo, go ahead and take your shot if you want, or do whatever you need to do.
Well, I'm gonna. What's my range on a movement?
30
Or
feet.
how much?
30 feet.
30.
hmm
Okay. How far is that? Okay, so it'd be like right behind these guys.
Yeah, basically at the back of them. Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna take that. Gonna join the caboose here. See what all the commotion's about.
Okay.
And then there aren't. Do we see any more goblins in the
Yeah,
general vicinity?
You can see
Or
these
do we
three.
just
You
hear
can
them?
see these three goblins that are down here, and you can see that they seem to be coming and running out of the woods. So you can see these three goblins, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So you can.
Are they on? Are they at an incline? So like we have the higher ground.
Yeah, so you guys are effectively, they have to run up a slight hill to get up to you. So where you are standing right now, you're about 25 feet up in the air above from where they are, but just because the way it declines. Yeah, so you can aim, you can hit them. I'm not going to do trigonometry and figure out the range on that because I don't want to. So you can shoot them if you want to.
All right. Well, seeing that they're still looking pretty aggressive, and I, once again, my first knee-jerk reaction is to stop the thing running at me, trying to kill me. I'm going to use Firebolt and see if I can get this front goblin.
Okay.
So, use some Firebolt.
So as you guys see, well, Oliver and Kaiser, you see and you hear the metallic footsteps of this humanoid sprint up behind you, and you almost see that they engulf their hand in flame and seem to try and propel it forwards. It launches and it just fizzles out midair, and the flames that are wicking off of their hands seem to still be there, and they seem to start working their way backwards up their arm, and they quickly pat them out. But Neo, as you look down, you see it seems that you may have sprung like almost some sort of flammable liquid leak in your hand, and as you stare at it for a minute, it almost magically reseals itself back up, but with a natural one, you miss. So.
Ooh. Okay. Well, note to self. Yeah.
Okay. So
Change volatile liquids.
this goblin's gonna run up here, and it's gonna go ahead and take a short bow shot at the first thing it sees, which is the Minotaur, Raoul. Does an 11 hit? I do not believe an 11 will hit your AC. I think it misses. And so this other one.
Bastard.
This other one is just gonna follow suit, run up, but he's gonna try and shoot past you and shoot the guy behind you. So Golos, this goblin takes a shot at you of a natural 20.
That sucks.
It's going to do a grand total of 2 damage.
Oh, thank Christ.
And that 20 at level 1 is almost an insta death. So that was both their turns. Raoul, it is your turn. You see these two small goblins sprint up and just unleash 2 arrows, one of them at you, and he just misses, and one of them goes over your shoulder, and you hear it sink in You definitely hear it hit some meat, and you hear Golas just tear it back out of their chest.
So I gotta keep in mind here, Raul's dumb as dog shit, and he's really confused about this whole bell thing. Hang on, I'm gonna just roll an intelligence check to see if you put 2 and 2 together. No, he's befuddled.
Well, so you know what magic is, but they look like they appeared like magic and they disappeared like magic. So you could probably put 2 and 2 together to assume that it's some sort of magical bells, but you don't necessarily know the source. So.
All right. Well, I'm gonna stick with what works then.
Okay.
And,
You're gonna charge it in gore. Yeah, you
Fucking
can.
charge, man.
You can reach him.
Charging gore is a little
Okay.
big shot.
Go ahead and charge in and roll your gore damage. Roll your gore attack and see if you hit. If you miss a goblin with your gore, that's gonna be kind of funny. 13, it does hit. So click on the horns and it will show me. Yep, you gore this goblin and you lift him up again. This time, as you gore him in the stomach and you like throw him off, all of the stomach contents of this goblin, small bits of birds and other meat covered in stomach acid and bile just kind of seep down your face, almost blinding you from it, but you shake it off real fast, and you are not blinded at all by this goblin innards, but
My
you
good shirt, pourquoi?
Anything you want to do with your movement, you've used your action to dash, so you have movement if you still want to move further. That's up to you.
No, I'm just gonna like wipe the gore off my shirt and hope my rose is okay.
Okay. Golos, it's your turn.
Cool. So seeing that, I'm just gonna shake my head, novice, and I will aim at, let's see, this one,
Okay.
and do Toll the Bells again.
So it's a wisdom save, right? Wisdom
Now,
save.
is that one damaged already?
He is not. He still has
Damn,
full
man.
health, and he rolled a 17, so it's gonna it's gonna pass. So Raul, you see the bells appear again, and this time as they go to shake, no sound seems to appear. It's almost like the bells are broken, and then they disappear. So, do you want to move anywhere on your turn, Golos?
Nope.
Okay. Kaishar, it's your turn.
Okay, is there any sort of gate mechanism here at this entryway?
No, it seems to be just like an open. There may have been guards there. If you get closer, you could see if there are bodies there, but it seems to be more of like an open kind of just traveling path to get in that may have, if anything, just been guarded by people. So.
Okay. I will move forward just to get a better vantage point.
Yep.
About there. Is that okay?
That's fine, absolutely.
Cool. And then I'm gonna melt this dude with lightning again. That's my
All right.
plan.
Go ahead and throw your Eldritch Blast at him.
Yep. Blast. All right.
Blast.
And
8 will actually. So you're shooting the one right beside Raul, or the one down here?
that's the one. I'm gonna back my boy up here.
Okay. So as you run up to get a better vantage point, you coalesce this negative, almost blue, black, purplish energy in your hand, and you launch it out. You see that the goblin sees it coming and kind of dives out the way, and it just veers off, hits this stone gate edge almost, and it just blasts a piece of stone off, missing the goblin. So you did not hit with an 8. So, okay. Oliver Guardsman.
All right. I'm going to try to get in close here. How far can I move?
You have 30 feet of movement, and you are 37 feet away. So you can, we'll say because of the way the town is set up, if you want to sprint in there, I'll let you run right into the goblin. It's cool.
Okay. I'm going to run right up on that sucker.
Okay. And you have, what, a longsword attack you can use? Yeah, you do. Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
He's getting a taste of the bottomless dead stick.
All right, so you run up on that goblin, and go ahead and roll your attack. So that's your initiative roll. So you actually want to roll your attack. So if you look down,
okay.
you'll see you have longsword, and if you click on it and then click on the +5 beside it, it should, in theory, roll. Yep, 17 definitely hits. So if you click on the pink longsword word that's under the 17 on roll 20, it will roll your damage. And
I
I
say
can.
one more time. The pink what?
So see how in roll 20 it says you're 17, and then underneath it just says longsword. It's like highlighted in whatever color it is on your screen.
I don't see a 17. I just have longsword.
So on the, if you look back at roll 20.
Oh wait. Oh,
Yep.
on roll 20. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm still on D&D Beyond.
Yep.
All right. So if I click on longsword.
Yep, it'll roll your damage for you. Bam. And if you're not wearing a shield, correct? Or are you?
No.
Okay. You are
The
not.
bottomless dead stick is a two-handed weapon.
Okay, cool. It's, yes, you can use it as a two-handed. Okay, so it's weird because whenever it rolls higher for a one-handed, I will just give you that damage because I'm not going to make you take less damage when you're using two hands to wield it. So, you do 11 damage, and Raul, you see this fiery boy sprint up, and with his what looks to be a giant piece of like elongated bread, but sharpened somehow, slashes this goblin from toe to tail, bisecting them.
Dios míos!
Okay, so it is this
So
goblin.
I have to say it
Oh, you
every
do.
time I
Yep.
kill a warrior. When you're here, your family.
Please, every single time.
So you see one final goblin standing. They're gonna move a little bit closer because goblins are not smart. It sees you bisect its brethren, Oliver, and it's going to take a shortbow shot at you for 19 to hit. And it's going to roll on damage a 4 for damage. So you take 4 damage to your person. So.
Oh, Alex, are you rolling the confirmed criticals, or are you just automatic?
Oh, I do not ever roll confirm criticals.
You don't roll confirm. Okay.
I hate crit confirms. I think it's the worst homebrew rule ever, and if I ever play at a table with someone, I immediately quit playing that game. That's how much I hate them. Anyway, so I
you
will
don't
not.
care
I
that much about it.
No. If it's a critical, it's a critical. You don't have to confirm it because it's less than a 5% chance you will do it again immediately after. So he hits you, Oliver, for 4 damage. So you take some damage there. Neo, it is your turn. You see this goblin unleash an arrow and actually seems to take hold inside of Oliver and just stick there for a minute.
Lovely. So that probably looked like it hurt. So I'm gonna go ahead and walk on up to Oliver and look at him.
Oliver's up here, and Golos and Kaijar are here. Yeah. So
Oh,
Oliver's up by
okay.
Raul. But yeah, Golos definitely got hit with an arrow as well. So.
Oh, okay. Well then I'll get to Oliver eventually. But looking at Golos with getting hit by an arrow, I look at him and I say that must have hurt. And so I'm going to do. I should have cure wounds.
You are gonna overheal the shit out of him. Just so you know.
I'm okay with that.
All right.
I'm just going based off of,
makes sense.
I'm just reacting to things, and if I was to have an arrow hit me.
Yeah, so Golo, you get healed for 5, so you are back up to full. You cannot be overhealed, so you're back up to full because you only had 2 damage, so. And Raul, that is now your turn since Neo used his movement and he uses action, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any bonus actions he can use. Raul?
That's correct.
Yeah, cuidado con lo funcional. I'm just stick with what works. We're just gonna charge this little fucker.
Okay, go ahead and roll a charge attack.
I'll do it.
You again slam your horn into this into this gobbo. You lift him up over your head, and it just starts bleeding all over your skin, and you are now covered in a third goblin amount of blood.
Can I just say how weird it is? The birds don't give a shit about this battle, and they're just peacefully chirping in the background.
They're just hanging out. So that completes the combat for the ones that are charging into the town. Um, as you guys approach and are going more towards where the goblins were coming from, you do see that laying on the ground just outside of the town, just outside of the gate, quote unquote, the entrance into the town, is a commoner who seems to be bleeding out. And anybody who gets close enough to listen to what they're saying, you hear them whispering and kind of trying to weakly lift their arm and point in this direction. They're they're coming. They're coming from there. Kill them all. Kill their leader. Save the town. And they exhale their final breath, and they seem to expire at all of your feet. So, combat for this second is over. If you want to take any type of short rest to heal yourself for anyone that took damage, we can do that. Otherwise, you can determine what you want to do. You can go and go on the goblin hunt, or you can go back into town and find some screaming villagers. What do you want to do?
You think, lads?
Well, I mean, we just had to save the town. We didn't have to murder all the goblins.
Raoul wonders.
Personally, haven't.
Raoul wonders what is in it for Raoul.
You do know that they
Bartender
said that if you
control.
saved the town, they would pay you.
Can I loot the bodies?
You can roll an investigation if you want to on the goblin bodies. Raoul, what were you wondering?
Raoul's wondering if Raoul can get paid since bartender did call Raoul fat.
You might, if you save the town, they might pay you. You don't know. With a 7, looking through these goblin bodies, you don't really see anything of real interest. You get like 5 copper between all of the goblins, but they're mainly wielding shoddy clubs. And if you want a short bow, there is at least 2 short bows that you could find that are at least usable. So, if you don't want a short bow, you don't have to take them, but there are 2 usable short bows that you could acquire or hand out between your group, or just ignore them. It's up to you.
I guess I'll
stick with my crossbow.
grab them.
Okay.
And just put them in my pack for now, unless anybody else wants one.
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
No,
Okay. So,
I do want to investigate the corpse of the commoner, though.
okay. Go ahead and roll a bit. So 16, nice. What specifically are you looking for on this commoner? It looks like it's just a plainclothes guy who had just a short sword. So they,
My set.
well, you have money, but in the coin purse of the commoner, you see there's only 2 silver. So
I'll take it.
yeah, I mean, money's money. I did update everybody's equipment with the appropriate amount of money that you should have. So if you click on equipment, you'll see how much gold you have. And if you want to add money to that, if you click on the number, so for example, I'm looking in, if you click on equipment, you'll see there's currency, and if you click on the number, it'll tell you the gold. And if you want to add gold or silver or whatever you get awarded or spend, you put the number under the appropriate thing and click add or remove, and then it will automatically track it for you. So.
Yeah. So I got 2 silver pieces.
So you should have whatever your money is plus 2 silver, and I think you have like 150 gold or something like that. So
110.
110. There you go. Yeah, everybody's got a little bit of a different amount because I just rolled on the gold table for the class to see what you got. So you'll have some. I know that like Neo has 140, a couple of you have 110. I think one person is 150. It's all kind of relative, but yeah. So. Looking around, investigating the body and investigating the corpse of the goblins, you do see that all the goblin tracks seem to have come from the same direction. So this little path over here. So if you want to follow them, you can go that way. If you want to go back into town, you can. If you just want to lay out and enjoy the rest of the day, you can also do that.
So from just a rudimentary inspection of the village that we're in,
Mm-hmm.
um, how like are we like is this like a very well upkept village, or does it seem like this village has been sustaining constant goblin raids? Like this isn't the first one that they've seen.
So, just from your short time being in this town, and immediately having to fight goblins, taking, we'll say taking 30, 45 minutes just to kind of look around the town, kind of investigate a little bit. Um, this town seems to have, it's not huge. There's only about 1,500 people that seem to live here. You've seen human and you've seen some sea elves, but you have seen a couple gnomes, a dwarf, and some other type of elvish folk, but you can't quite place them. The saltwater tinged air seems to be so thick that you can almost taste it. Um, you imagine that if the town wasn't under a goblin raid, that you would probably hear just general market talk. You see there are carts around. There is places for a town crier to cry from. You see there are animal prints throughout the town, so you imagine there is some trading that goes on here as well. Um, Other than that, you see a lot of small family homes. You see fishing boats at the docks. There seems, you imagine there's probably a store of some sort. You know there's a tavern. At least Raoul knows for sure there's a tavern because that's where you were playing. And then there are a couple broken down buildings. And then there's this tower in the middle of the city, which seems to just be some construction project that they're working on. It doesn't look like it's anywhere near completion. So you don't know what it's necessarily going to be. It might be a watchtower of sorts. It might be um, just like a beacon tower where they light a giant fire to kind of let people at sea know what's here. And you see there are some land masses over here, but they don't really have any docks or anything on them. They're just kind of land out in the bay a little bit. So that's what you got.
Well, how do we know that that wasn't? How do we know that that wasn't just a scouting party? They're not coming for more.
That's a very good point. And also the fact that when they attacked, everyone ran the other way and assumed that we were going to fight them makes me assume that, well, and also nobody from here joined us to attack the goblins. So um, they don't seem like a that they're ready for battle or they're
I'd
suited for
say
battle.
I'd say we go find the person who promised to pay us and find out how much they're offering.
Raoul
Agree.
concurs. Raoul wonders about the treasury of the local town in order to pay Raoul wages that he deserves.
Are there any
This is a sea town devoid of
militia
commerce.
around or like a store that I could sell the bows at?
You imagine if you spend enough time, you could probably find like a general store where you can sell the bows.
Hmm.
Um, they're just based on you've been in this town for a few days, so you know this. There is in fact a general store. You know there's the tavern, the name of which is was escaping me for a second. The Drowned Tusk. You've been in there once or twice. People kind of steer clear of you because of you in general. But you have not noticed any type of like militant defense of the town. There seems to be one or two people who act almost like a small police force, and you haven't really noticed a lot of crime in the town. It's more of just like kids doing dumb kid stuff that they've just kind of been scolded by two leaders of
So it's the
public
neighborhood
order.
watch.
Yeah, basically, the town isn't
Okay.
very huge. Like I said, there's only 1,500 people here. There doesn't seem to be a lot of crime. It seems to be a generally peaceful little spot where most people are spending their days fishing. You do know from being here that there is a mine a few miles away from town where if they're not fishing, they are mining. Um, and you know that that mine has both copper ore and stone. So that might be a place to go at some point, but you haven't heard recently anyway of any trouble per se at this mine. You just know that is 5 miles from here. People go there to work. They normally spend multiple days there, and then they come back rather than making the 10-mile trip daily to get there and back on foot. So, yeah. But if you want to go and find someone, the person who said they would pay you, you guys can all go ahead and roll investigation checks. And see if you can find them.
Yeah,
Right.
for that.
Hey, I know exactly where they are.
Jesus.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a little creepy.
I've been watching them for a couple of days.
Ow.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I will tell you with your you had it before the natural 20, but with the natural 20, you for sure remember what this person looks like, and you clocked them as they were just kind of running. And you end up finding them near this construction project up here. And as
I
you
hear his fucking heartbeat.
a nat 20 doesn't make you God. It just means you were very successful in finding. And fun fact, a natural 20 doesn't always mean you're going to succeed either. There's at least not out of combat. I'm going to use the same commoner token because I don't feel like getting out of the way. But you basically find them up here. You find them kind of cowering. And as you speak to them, they just kind of look at you and like, oh, so you want paid, huh? How about
Yeah.
this? How about this? I don't have a lot. I don't make a lot of money, but I'll give you all 10 gold to split. If you go and you kill the goblins and their leader. Which I will let you know that that 10 gold in this specifically this town, but mainly in the world. 10 gold is a lot to make like an average person be able to live for like a month without any real problems. So you'd effectively both get 2 gold and you could live pretty decently for like just over a week or just under a week, I guess, each without much problems. You could stay, have meals and bedding for almost a week without really any problems. So
All right.
Can we ask him what his position is in the town?
you can. I just live here. I don't really have anything. I'm a fisherman. But I don't want to die, so I'll give you a lot of my savings and well,
Raul's
go from
second
there.
request. Is
Mhm.
I'd like to make a persuasion roll to convince him to name one of the gates after me.
You can try. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check. 9. So,
No.
as you are trying to convince him, he's kind of looking at you. He's never seen a minotaur before, so he's kind of confused as to how you're walking and talking to him.
He rolled performance.
Oh,
your,
my bad.
is your persuasion still a +5?
Yeah.
It
Works out
would,
the same.
yeah, it's the same. It kind of is a performance too. But he looks, he goes, I don't really have that kind of power, but maybe if you kill the goblins and their leader, maybe the speaker of the town will. Maybe, but we don't really have a gate. It's just more of like an open space. So I guess you could just write your name on it. I don't know.
Can I roll persuasion to convince him to name the rock next to the gate after Ty's character?
Go for it. You can absolutely do that.
Raul Esteban de Cortez accepts your terms.
And he looks confused. He goes, "Okay, that stone is now the stone of Raul Esteban de Cortez. Okay."
There you go, buddy.
And I'm just gonna draw a little
And
square on this right here. That can be the
can
rock.
can I ask him what the construction of this building is going to be?
Yeah. So as you don't have to roll
Thank
for
you,
it.
Daddy.
As you're speaking to him and asking him, and he's confused as to why people want to name rocks after themselves, and just looks bewildered a little bit, more concerned that his village might get destroyed again. He goes, well, you heard the bells, right? Like to let the people know that there's an attack coming. Well, those are bells that we all have to ring individually and hope that they spread through the town. This isn't going to be one big bell, and there's going to be a person sitting up there and kind of keeping an eye out so that we can see attacks coming from further away and warn the village so that we can be better prepared. An early warning system, if you will.
Can I ask him to name the bell? Can I ask him to name the bell tower after me?
You can. You can roll a persuasion check.
Where's my persuasion?
It should be on your sheet. Yeah, and if you click it, it should. It's a +0.
Towards the bottom.
So, yeah. So if you look in that middle tree, you should see it. They're all alphabetized. So.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
Yeah.
Wait, did my perception? Or sorry.
Your persuasion went through at a +5, natural 20. Um, so,
God damn it.
The one roll I get. You gotta be kidding.
and he looks at you and he goes, I mean, it's not gonna be done for months, and I don't really know your name, and I'm not really in charge of that, but if you write it down on a piece of paper or something and give it to me, I can pass it on to the construction boss, and maybe.
The foreman.
Huh? Yeah, the foreman. Yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot what that.
the
I forgot
construction
what that
foreman.
word was. You knew what
That's
I
okay.
meant.
Yep.
Okay, so are we gonna go fight these goblins or not before we
I'm
rename the
just
town?
standing here taking all of this in. A rock was just named after one of these people, and then now a
Compadres,
building's going to be named after another one. So I'm kind of like, interesting.
I know we have just met under very, very crazy circumstances, but I feel compelled to assist these poor fellow humans.
Can I call dibs on the
I
cemetery?
agree. I want
Um,
it to be named the Taco Bell.
so Alex, go ahead and roll an insight check for me, as you're all standing there, having this conversation. To Raoul saying, "These fellow humans." So, as he says, "These fellow humans," you kind of look and think to yourself, "Do they think they're a human? Because they're very much not. They're very much not a human. They are a giant minotaur of a man or being."
Okay, so he's a little horny.
A little. He did poke people with his horns.
Oh, I look at the townsmen. And before I leave, Raoul does require another shirt.
Oh. And Ty, you will appreciate this specifically. He looks at you and says, "I mean, I can trade you mine."
Tiny man, I don't think it will fit.
And he kind of laughs. I said
Tank
you would
top
that he would remember that specifically because Ty asked me in the middle of campus one day to give him my shirt, and I did. I gave him my shirt, and I wore a zip-up hoodie for the rest of the day with no shirt. Anyway, he goes, "Well, I can, we can find you some when you come back, but I'm gonna go back to my house and lock the door and hope the goblins don't come and kill me." And you see, he just sprints off and over there somewhere.
Well, compadres, shall we?
I'm willing to
shall.
go fight goblins if the Minotaur goes with me.
Who's the Minotaur?
The human tar.
I'm looking around, kind of confused.
My new rock friend.
Ah, Raoul! All right, well, that's 2. Is there 3?
I'm in.
I'll never say no to killing anything.
You
I'm
have issues.
curious where these goblins came from, so I'll join you guys. But
Okay.
I'm more curious than hungry for blood.
I just want the
Well,
money.
if you're hungry for blood, you just have to take some off my shirt. Here.
Do you guys want to take any time while you were conversing with them just to kind of take a short rest and use some hit dice and heal up a little bit, or do you want to go to the fight as you are?
How often can I use that spell without resting? The Eldritch Blast.
As many times as you want. Yeah, it's infinite.
Yeah.
So anything
good to go.
Anything that's listed under cantrip can be
Yeah,
used
it's infinite.
infinitum. Anything that has a spell level, you have only so many slots that you
I
can
would
cast.
like to take a second to try to figure out where the hell I put my goddamn great axe, because a rapier in my hands doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Okay. So as you are walking around, just kind of thinking to yourself, go ahead and, just because I want to see how this turns out, roll a history check. See if you can remember where you put your great axe. You remember that as you were going to work for the day, or for the boring lunch shift, that Jimbo asked you to leave your great axe outdoors, but he didn't realize you had a rapier as well. He thought it was just another horn. So I'll add a great axe into your.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and leave my toothpick behind.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I will
your-
do this then. Yep,
Your
cool.
third horn is pretty
Your
big.
your dagger. You're dropping your dagger.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop my dagger on me.
Okay, cool. So you are a great axe wielding bard who is a minotaur now.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you remember where you leave it. You basically left it just leaning against the wall of the outside of the tavern, and you're like, oh, here it is, and you know that it's Raoul's because it looks like it's got weird like musical filigree on it, so almost music notes, and it's the same color as the piano keys on the mini grand piano that he carries strapped to his chest.
Fantastic.
hmm Okay, so you guys
Also,
want to go and
Raoul-
find the
only Raoul
goblins?
is mighty enough.
Okay. So as you guys take some time and walk around the town, you eventually start making your way to the outside of the borders of the town. So I need everybody to go ahead and make perception checks for me, please. Okay.
Jesus.
Woo!
Wow.
Perceptive as fuck.
3-9. No, that's some good. Some. What do we get? Perception. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Those are some really good perception
Jesus.
rolls. You guys look at the tracks, and you follow them pretty much without any issues at all. So as you start to, let me go to this. XT. Cool. That should be it. Yep.
I'd like Raoul to play some music for us.
With pleasure.
So as you guys are following these tracks, you eventually, after about a couple hours worth of travel, hold on, let me make sure I didn't do this. I did. I'll do that later. Cool. So you guys come upon, you get pretty close. So let me switch maps here. So now all of the distance for the measuring tool is accurate. So yeah, so now, yep. So now when you measure how far something away is, it is accurate to where you are. So it makes sense here because this is appropriate distances. So you guys get close. I need you all to go ahead and make stealth checks, please, to see how well and how quietly you approach the village.
Not my strong suit.
I actually forgot to put a guy up here and a guy over here. Cool.
You did all right.
Okay.
Pretty sneaky.
Cool. So I don't know why it rolled you at disadvantage, Neo, unless you have to roll at disadvantage.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I don't know why it's rolling all of you at disadvantage, but it's all good. We'll figure out later. So
Mm.
as you, although also I need to make your tokens the right
Too
size.
perceptive to be quiet.
So as you guys are getting close to the village, you think you are kind of being sneaky, but then you realize that you did in fact ask Raoul to play you some music, and he's just hammering on the keys of this piano that he's got strapped to his chest as you guys are approaching.
I said, Brenda, you're a fine girl.
Worth
So
it.
as you guys start to approach, you see that there are a bunch of goblins in this camp. I will give you one action each to tell me what specifically is you want to do before they hear Raoul inevitably screaming and yelling and playing this baby grand piano and combat starts. So we'll just go in order from left to right on names on the bottom of the page. Victor, what do you want to be doing?
All right. Can I rush on over to here? I want to climb up this wall. Climb up this wall.
Okay, so you want to go ahead and climb up the big rocks up here or the actual rocks of the base?
No, the actual rocks up here. I want to
Okay.
see what's.
Okay, so as soon as we start into initiative, I'll have you make an immediate athletics check, and that will determine if you can be up there on your turn or if you have to make a second one on your turn. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
Peter, what do you want to be doing?
I would like to try to hit this center beam and
Okay.
with my thing and try to light it on fire.
Oh, so you're you do force damage, so it doesn't light things on fire. It won't like make lightning or anything. It's basically just a ball of like invisible necrotic force that is blasted at something. Yeah, so it can't light it on
okay.
fire, but it can basically like baseball bat something.
Think Ermac from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna stand by it. I'm gonna try to blow this up as a spectacle.
Okay, cool. You can try and shoot that and see what happens.
I'm
So
gonna roll a perception check just to see if I'm even aware of what's going on, because I'm so into my song.
okay. Yeah, you're pretty. You know that you guys have approached what seems to be the goblin encampment. What specifically do you want to do, if anything?
I think I'm gonna go ahead and change my song to something inspiring.
Okay. Who? You have 3 inspirations that you can hand out per rest right now. Do you want to hand them all out or just hand out one of them? You cannot give it to yourself.
I'm gonna go ahead and hand them all out
Okay.
to the 3 closest to me. So Oliver Guardsman, Pete's person, and Norris's person.
Okay, so all of you guys, you have a bardic inspiration, which means that on any ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, you can add an additional 1d6, which can change the outcome of it. It might not, but it can, and you have that for 10 total minutes in game. So, and if you don't use it,
Thanks,
it
Raoul.
just goes away, and it.
I'm gonna stop playing Brandy and start playing some Motley Crue.
I
Okay.
was gonna say, why do I hear Eye of the Tiger in my head right now?
Alex, what do you want to do for your pre-initiative action?
So, do I know that Kaichar is going to aim for this little spectacle thingy?
You can see that they're kind of looking that way, but they're also looking that way, and there's a lot of stuff they could be shooting at. So you know they're going to be probably be shooting in that general direction. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to try to time it up. If I notice his bolt is going that way and going to hit it, I want to cast Thaumaturgy.
Okay.
And have it do the ground tremors.
Okay. Cool. How far do the tremors go?
30 feet.
Okay. So basically, the force blast
well.
would hit it here, and there would be like 30 feet worth of tremors all around it. Cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. We can do that. And then, Kellen, what do you want to do with your pre-initiative turn?
This whole encampment seems to be made of wood. Is that correct?
There's wood, there's stone. You will not be able to set the whole thing ablaze with one single produced flame. I could tell you that. But you see that these are like bone and hide. Like these tents like bone and hide. This seems to have some metal, a lot of wood. This has got stone and wood. Like there is a lot of wood here, but it's also made of other natural things too.
So don't stop at just one, Kellen.
Is that gate
then
closed?
I unsheathe my bottomless dead stick.
Okay.
And I think I'm gonna move. I think I'm just gonna go front and center.
Okay, cool. So here's what we'll do then. I will have all of the actions that you prepared and held all go off at one time. So Neo, go ahead and make an athletics check to see if you can just hop right up on top of there without noticing. 16? Yeah, no problem. So you hop up there, and so on your turn, if you choose to
God,
attack
he's
him,
fit.
you will have an advantage because he does not expect you to show up there. Just boom. So
Okay.
as you hop up there, Raoul inspires everybody. Oliver, you basically get to sprint to right there without any penalty to movement, so that's just a free movement for you to get there. And then Kelshar and Golos, you release your combined spell, and we will do this. I'm just going to use a goblin token for this, and as you hit it, Thaumaturgy hits, and everything within this range right there feels tremors in the ground. So you see all of a sudden all of the goblins in that area. This is not a goblin in the middle, by the way. This is just a token I'm using. So I'm just going to put some dots on this guy. This is not actually a bad guy. It's just a token for the sake of me knowing where Thaumaturgy was. Everything in that yellow, can you see the yellow aura emanating from it?
No.
How about now?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There it is.
So
There it is.
all of that is where Thaumaturgy happened. And how long does Thaumaturgy last for, Alex?
Let me double check.
It's either a minute or it's like an instant thing.
It's a minute.
Okay, so basically
Damn.
all of that area feels like there is tremors, just like small tremors, not enough where it's like a full earthquake, but enough where they kind of feel off balance for a second. So you see all 6 of those goblins kind of just like you just see them like
Would that strike any fear into them, or is this kind of like an earthquake-prone place?
We'll say that if you attack any of those guys in this first round, that they would be at advantage because they did not expect all of it. They're kind of trying to feel like they're regaining their equilibrium and their balance, so they're kind of off kilter. So if you attack any of those 6 goblins, anyone who attacks them gets advantage this first combat round. After that,
Dope.
they kind of would have like established where they are and realized it's not real. But yeah, so
Is that like flat-footed used to work?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe. I never played anything before 5, so I don't know.
Okay.
So go ahead and we will roll initiative. So just go ahead like you did before, and I'm just gonna put these guys in groups. Do it this way.
We all rolling initiative?
Yes, every single one.
Raoul did poorly. I closed my eyes.
Okay, so I'm not even gonna roll initiative. Well, I'm not gonna roll initiative for the one by Neo because he's not gonna get to go. He's gonna die as long as Neo hits him.
Wait, was I supposed to roll just now? Sorry.
So everyone rolled initiative. Let's see. So
Okay.
whenever you roll, if you click on your token first, it will automatically add you up into the order. So, but I can add you guys in there too, so it's not a big deal. I'm gonna move you here because I have to.
You wanted to send the results of this roll to the turn tracker, but no valid token was selected.
Yeah, you basically just have to select your token and it'll do it. So if you click on your token first and just leave it clicked, and then it will let you do it. So I'm gonna go ahead, but I can also physically add you guys in when it comes to it. But I have to move you so I can see you to do it and turn. And then Raoul, did you roll initiative?
I got a mighty 7. Raoul
there it is.
That beat my 6.
You actually got a 6 because it rolled twice for you. So you got a mighty 6.
17. Has it still not shown up?
Oh, no, I see it. It's there. It just because you didn't click on the thing. You did not get 65. You got 6. 6.1, 6.1. We'll go with the 7 Raoul because it was there.
I got it.
So, well, just that way. So these guys are gonna be these 2. This guy is gonna get his thing here real fast. And then these 2 goblins are gonna go on the same turn order. Wham. Oops. These 2 are going to go on the same turn order. And then this gobbo is going to go on that order. Okay. Ooh, that goblin's going to go first. Alright, so as this all is happening, you don't actually have to draw. Oh, you're drawing your breadstick. So this goblin boss sees what is going on. He's gonna try and just throw a javelin if he can make it reach. So let's see, how far is the closest guy to him that he can see? Neo, Oliver. All right, so you charged in, Oliver, so he's gonna throw this at you, but it'll be at disadvantage because it's further than what he can actually roll. So the way advantage and disadvantage works is if it's advantage, you roll the attack twice and you take the higher number, and disadvantage is you roll it twice and you take the lower number. So you see that, Oliver, you just see this javelin go flying across the way. It flies directly from him past this middle spot between these 2 guys and just sails way past you, and it completely misses. Alright, so these goblins
suck.
They have what, 30 feet worth of movement, I think? Let's see, goblin, 30 feet of movement. Okay, cool. So they're gonna take off running. Yeah, so they're basically gonna use, how far are you actually from him?
Went right
50
past
feet.
ya.
50 feet and 60 feet. Okay, so these ones are gonna run up. This guy's gonna use his action and movement to run up on you, action and movement to run up on you. They can't do anything else on their turn because they ran. These commoners are also going to try, well, so these, we're going to see if these ones can maintain their balance real fast because these ones are the stupidest ones that are on the stupidest of the goblins. Let's see. actually, that's gonna be the same number. So those goblins, this one doesn't quite fall over, but this one is dumb enough that he thinks it's an earthquake, so he like squats down and like puts his ass up in the air and tries to like regain his balance. So this one right here spends his action trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Oliver, you just had 2 goblins run up on you. What are you gonna do?
Oh, I'm gonna kill them.
Okay, so go ahead and make your attack if you want to swing on
The
one of them.
goal is to collect as many bodies as you can. I got 3 so far.
Oh, I like a challenge. Okay. Do I click on longsword or what do I click on
Yeah,
again?
so for yours, you can click on the yeah. If you click on, if you actually click on it, it'll bring up a little side thing that says like with the description of the weapon and stuff. If you click on the Beyond 20 red button, it should theoretically roll your attack and damage all at once. Ooh, a natural 1. So you have you fail naturally.
That hurts.
So you go to swing at this goblin, and it just kind of leans back, and you feel like a chunk of your never-ending dead stick kind of chips out a little bit. Not enough to break it or anything, but enough that it's just inconvenient now.
Soft and oily.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you miss. Do you want to move anywhere on your turn, or you just want to stay there in their face?
You should have got the soup in the Skana.
I know, right? Can I back up to the?
You can.
To the...
As you back away, they'll both get attack of opportunities for you running out of their range.
Oh, then never mind.
Okay,
I'll
so-
stay where I am,
so you
and I'll absorb the damage for my fellow friends.
There's 2 schools of thought on this. Because they're going to attack you next turn one way or another. So, I mean, if you want me or someone else to come in, you can back up, take the 2 attacks, and the tanks can come in. That's you know what I mean.
That's if he
Yeah.
survives them.
We could do that, or would you guys be able to heal whatever damage I take?
I do have cure. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
cure.
You just gotta make sure you touch him for cure wounds. So.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yep. Well, if you want to run,
Hold on.
they'll both take attack of opportunities on you. They might hit. They might miss. You might stay up.
it's-
Might go down. It's up to you. It's your call.
I'll stay here.
Okay. All right. Golas.
Cool. Since it looks like he might be in a bind,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to toll the death
On both of them.
for those 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So they're both gonna make wisdom saves. Ooh, they have piss poor wisdom. They're actually less wise than the other ones. So one rolled a 14, the one up here, and the one below rolled an 8. So I think the 8 fails, but I think the 14 passes. Yep. So he takes 5 damage. Okay. So he reaches out and grabs his ears, and he's writhing his head in pain, but he seems to still be up. So.
And then bonus action, can I equip my Equalwa? Whatever the hell it is. Javelin, basically.
Yeah, your thrown weapon. Yep, you can do that.
Yeah.
Yep, you
Cool.
can do that. And then, are you moving anywhere, Golos, or are you staying there?
I'll move right here, but where I can like be out of the way.
Okay, cool.
Like to the side, basically.
Yeah, you're basically, like, the gate's open. You're pretty much up against the side of the gate. So we'll just say, like, so that it makes more sense gate-wise, you're there. So you're not on top of the spike. But you're in the same spot. It makes it easier to see there. Neo, since you popped up on this guy real fast, without him knowing you
Yep.
were there, you have advantage on the attack against him. So you get to attack it twice, take the top. Take the best one.
Yep. So I have a quarterstaff.
Yep.
So, which is what was that? Yeah, it's a spear-ish weapon.
Yeah, it's just a big stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to
and we're
roll
just
at
gonna-
advantage, you can just hold shift and it'll go green and you can click on it and it will roll at advantage
Yeah.
automatically.
So I'm gonna go for a home run swing right
Okay.
to the dome.
Okay. That for sure hits. And as you as you look up, you just see Neo pull out this just stick and just home run this goblin's face, and it just falls off of the edge there, collapsed and dead. Do you want to take movement to go anywhere?
And then I'm going to look around, see where I'm at, and see that I have some high ground, so I'm going to stay where I am.
Okay. All right. So this other goblin commoner sees that you just freaking home runned his buddy.
I called my shot, man.
He's gonna go ahead and try and take a bow shot at you. Does a 14 hit?
No, it does not.
Okay, so he unleashes a bow shot and you just kind of like whoosh, move right up the way, and this arrow goes whoosh, just right past your face, and it actually sinks into this wooden beam that's behind you. So it was a good aimed shot, but it just missed you. Okay, Raul.
Raul has spell casting to do, so Raul is going to move, and Raul is going to cast Color Spray. 15-foot cones. I think I should get all 4 of these little bastards.
One, two. We'll just see this. It might. I have a 15. I have. What's funny is I actually have spell tokens. Actually, hold on. I can create a 15-foot cone token for you real fast because I didn't know what spells you were gonna take. So let me just create a 15-foot cone real quick.
Color Spray is far and above one of the best level 1 spells in the goddamn game.
I'm just gonna make it blue because that's the first one that I have available to me right now. So, I will put these in your. Once I look at your spell slots and whatnot, I will actually put these tokens in there for you. So this is how far you can shoot color spray.
Yeah. So so turn it a little bit.
It might not here, so we'll do it like this. So it's basically
It looks pretty good to me.
it's gonna have to basically. It's just the way the token is set up, so it's gonna
I should
get them.
absolutely be able to hit all 4 of those guys.
We'll do this. Hold on. It's just weird because it's a triangle set in a square. So basically, we'll say we'll
Can you do this though?
we'll say that you'll get them because it's close enough that it is what it is. You'll get them all.
Color Spray in this edition is I roll 60, 10. That's how many hit points worth of creatures I can hit.
Yes, and then yeah. So just go ahead and roll your 60-10, and then we will go from there. And then they're all blinded if they all fail. An ascending order of current hit points. So you rolled a grand total of 41. Okay. Yeah, I'm not even gonna have to do the math. It's gonna get all of them. So they are automatically all blinded, correct?
Correct.
Creature must be equal or less. Okay. Yeah, so you guys. It's funny because it doesn't actually say what the.
15 for ascending order.
Oh, they're blinded. Yeah, there we go. So you guys see Raul grabs some dust out of his pocket somewhere and just throws it up in the air, and all of the there's this bright flashing, almost Technicolor dreamscape. It just appears in front of you, and all 4 of these goblins seem to be blinded now. Blinded. Exactly. Okay, so that is your spell slot. That's your action. You moved. I don't think the only thing you can do as a bonus action is inspiration. You've already used them all. So
I'm done.
there you go. Cool. Okay.
Did my job.
So these 2 goblins down here, it is their turn. They can see what's going on, and they are going to take short bow shots rather than get up in that mess. One of them's going to take a shot at Neo at 50 feet, and I'm pretty sure short bows can shoot 80 feet. 80. And the other one is going to go ahead and take a shot at Golos, because he's the easiest target that's not in front of his friends. So it's 8 against Neo, which misses, and 13 against Golos, which I'm pretty sure also misses.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So, Kaishar, it is your turn, and these enemies are blinded, which means that they cannot see and automatically fail any ability check that requires sight, and any attack rolls against them have advantage. So whatever you roll for an attack, you get to roll twice, and you get to take the higher attack number. So against these 4 guys that he sprayed.
What's my maximum movement? 30?
30 feet. Yeah.
Okay. And my little diversionary explosion thing did absolutely nothing.
Well, so it made these two guys here not do any attacks. They kind of like stood there, and these two guys over here took bow shots rather than running as they're still trying to ground their feet. So it did do something. It kept 4 guys from immediately running up and assaulting your fighter.
That's
One guy's
alright.
twerking. Like, I mean, come on, you did
One
something.
guy's twerking the whole time. He
Straight,
didn't know what to do.
straight up, just dropped to his knees and started twerking it.
So I'm just gonna move
Listen,
for a slightly better
listen.
angle.
Okay.
Here,
Kill him.
and then
We all
I'm
know you
gonna
gotta stay home.
blast this guy with my
Okay, so it's just a regular straight roll against this guy.
Yep.
Okay.
Alright, so
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast.
Fun fact, Eldritch Blast, as you level up, you get more beams of it, so one attack, you get like 2, 3, 4 beams later.
Can't wait. Did that go through?
It does, and it missed with a 7.
God, I suck.
It's alright.
That's
nat one.
all I
That's a
got.
2.
Yeah.
Almost a nat 1. If it was nat 1, it would be red. So this goblin boss, seeing all this brightness going on, he has a giant mess, and he doesn't really want to jump down from his perch, so you just hear him shouting out, anybody who speaks goblin, which I don't know if anyone does, you hear him shouting orders to, if you don't speak goblin, it just sounds like garbled mess. If you do speak goblin, he's shouting them to attack.
Gobbledygook.
Can he throw a javelin this far? Because if he can, he is going to...
He will.
He will. It'll be at disadvantage, but he's going to straight up throw a javelin over towards the dude who, yeah, that baseballed his friend.
Feet.
Jesus. He rolled a 7 total, so he missed. It was a 23 if he didn't roll at disadvantage. So, he missed you, Neo. These 2 goblins who are blinded can't see anything, so they're going to... The top goblin is going to take a swing at the giant minotaur who ran in front of them. At least that's where you think he is. And the bottom goblin's going to take a swing at Oliver. Both of these are at disadvantage because they are blind. So the first attack against the minotaur is a 7 to hit, which I know will miss. And then the one against Oliver is a 12. So both of your attacks miss because your opponent is blinded. These goblin commoners, who this one's still twerking, he gets up from his twerk, but I'm going to roll a d20 and just see if he's smart enough to see what the hell's going on. Natural 20. So he he knows that there's a fight going on, but he doesn't know where it's coming from because he was facing ground, then he went blind. So I'm going to roll a d4 and see if he runs north, south, east, or west. He's going to roll south. So he's going to use his whole movement, 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, just run south. This other guy is blinded, and he is just going to follow the footsteps that he heard, so he runs down this way too. Alright, Oliver, it is your turn. You have 2 guys blinded in front of you, so whoever you attack, you get to attack at advantage. So you get to roll twice and take the highest, or just hold the shift key as you click the attack, and it should automatically roll at advantage for you. So. Oh, 15 hits. Just barely, but it hits. Are you attacking the bottom one or the top one? Which one of these 2 guys are you hitting, Oliver? This guy or this guy? Well, roll your damage, and then you're probably going to kill one of them.
Am I the only one who cannot hear Oliver?
I could not hear him either, but you rolled 9 damage, so whichever one of these guys you hit, you killed. I just need to know which one of these guys you hit.
Can you still not hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah. Which one did you attack? The top one or the bottom one?
Took a swing at me. I think it was the bottom one.
Okay, cool. So I like to play with cleave rules, and so cleave rules are basically, if there are enemies within 5 feet of each other, if you do melee damage to them, and it's more damage than what HP they have, the remaining damage carries over to the next guy. So with 9 damage, you cleaved through this bottom guy and swung the dead stick, and the way that you caught it, you put it through the neck of the lower goblin, carried it right the way through this other goblin. So you actually cleaved through both of them because they had a total of 9 HP left. So you cleaved both of them with your
family.
That used to be a feat.
Oh, yeah, it's just an optional variant DM rule. So
That's fine.
I like to use it because Especially for crits when you like do a shit ton of damage on a guy that has like 5 HP, it just feels wasted. So I like to make it feel
Well, yeah.
better.
So they
Yeah.
back in second and third edition, there's a feat where you got a free attack.
Well, you have your movement. You can move if you want to, or you can stay there. Since you are bringing people to your family.
I'm gonna go.
To them all.
I think I'm gonna shoot my crossbow at this guy up here.
So you've
on
already
the-
taken your attack, so you don't have any more attacks this round.
I can only move.
Yeah, you can only move. Unless you have a bonus action, which you don't, I think, as a fighter have any yet. But at level 2, you'll get an ability called Action Surge, which means you can basically give yourself another attack once per short rest. Or you can give yourself another action. So, but as you guys level up, we'll talk about which new abilities and stuff are. That way you know what they are. So, you have 30 feet
How
of
do I
movement.
figure out
Go wherever you want.
feet? How do I do that measuring thing again?
So, if you look at your toolbar on the left, there's a circle with like a little ruler thingy coming out the corner of it. If you click on that and click on snap to center, you can basically just click your arrow and drag it around. It's supposed to be the ruler, but it looks like a circle with a line coming out of it. And yep, there you go.
Oh, I see that.
Yep, and so you have,
Right to that sucker, right there.
cool, sprint on over. So you take your token all the way down to the goblin, and then Golos, it's your turn. So yeah, put yourself wherever you want to be down by that goblin.
Trying to figure it
There you
out.
go. Oh yeah, you gotta go back up and click the arrow and select move. But yeah. Oh, don't be. Golos, it is your turn.
So, question real quick. For Reaper mechanics, could I... Is there a range on who I can aim at? Or can I aim at him and then, like, another one?
I think Reaper specifically says the range, and I think they have to be within 5 feet of each other, if I recall.
Got it. Okay.
You also don't have inspiration. Why'd you? Oh, you do. Never mind. That's the D6 inspiration, not the other one. My bad. Ignore that. Keep going.
So...
Oh yeah. So if you can target 2 creatures within 5 feet of each other. Yep. So that's what it says.
Okay, so I will move there.
Okay.
So I'll move here for my movement, and then I will do Toll the Dead again.
On both these guys.
Yeah, on these two.
All right, and they have taken no damage so far. So, because I know you are gonna. They both fail.
Fuck yes.
You could kill them.
Fuck them up. Oh, that's so disappointing.
Oh wow, that is real disappointing.
You on that one.
You dropped the ball pretty hard. But they both look pretty hurt after 1 damage, but they're not dead.
Are you serious? They're bloodied after 1 damage?
Those guys specifically have 3 HP.
And they're
That's hysterical.
Yeah, you could have killed them. All right, so you moved. You did your attack. Do you have any bonus actions you want to use?
Harder.
Let's see. Looking around, do any of my comrades look injured?
Yeah, Oliver looks like he's taken some damage.
Somebody's still getting around okay?
Yeah, he's not at half or anything, but he took some damage. You saw him take a hit, so.
I'm gonna save that then.
Okay.
No, I'm good for now.
Okay, Neo, it is your turn. What are you gonna do?
Alright. So that arrow that's in the post behind me, can I inspect that to see how it was made?
Yeah,
what
you can tell by taking a quick look at it. It just looks like a rudimentary arrow that someone basically took a stick, fashioned a arrowhead into it, and strapped some goose feathers to the back of it. It's not a very well-made arrow, but it's an arrow.
Okay, so it's... Okay. I guess we're all sharing video now. Anyways.
Oh.
That's what I see on Discord, so...
Oh, that's weird.
Let me make sure that everyone was included, but...
Oh, there you go. That was creepy. I'm not sharing video. You guys can all keep looking at each other's faces.
That was me just trying to show my
Anyways.
artwork.
Yeah.
Alan!
Of course, moment.
I'm gonna hop down from this ledge. Do I need an athletics check?
Yes,
I'm gonna
sir.
hop down?
Yep.
Oh, cheers, Pete. Yeah, you would, Kellen.
All right.
Alright.
So athletics
You
check
want-
for me, or you can use
Yeah.
or you can use 10 feet of movement, whichever you want.
I'll do the athletics.
Okay.
Where is it?
Should be the
Can't
very
find
second one. You're down. No problem.
it. I backflip off of this thing,
Wah. Mhm.
and then do that like one move where like your leg is like like out to the side, like you're doing that one stretch for your hamstring thingy.
Yeah.
Looking super badass. Anyways, so
Warm up style.
yeah, going to look at this dude on top of this platform in the center.
Okay. This isn't actually a guy here. Just so you know, this was just a token I was using to. Actually, let me see.
Oh,
If I do this, can you guys still see the aura around him? Is it still there? Or is the
No.
aura gone? Okay.
no.
Yeah. So basically,
You
that's just
can
a
put it back if you need
yeah.
it.
That's just a thing to negate to put the aura up. That's it.
Well, I
So
mean, that was only for a minute, so that should be gone by now since it's been around, right?
nope.
Yeah,
A
it's
round
not
is
a
only
second.
a round is only 6 seconds, so it's 10
Oh,
rounds.
6 seconds. That's
Yeah,
right.
So
Okay.
it's 10 rounds. I mean, you can drop it, I think, if you want, but I mean, it's on
I
there.
mean,
They all know.
do any of them
They
still
all,
have disadvantage?
no, they all know at this point. I'll just make it go away. It's
Yeah,
fine.
so then we can get rid of it.
Yep, cool. So there you go. But yeah, so you won't be confused by a guy. See ya.
But yeah, the first enemy, the first goblin.
Okay.
So the one farthest away from this cauldron
Mhm.
should be about 40 feet away from me. So I'm gonna take out my short bow again, see if I can.
Oh yeah, you
Get
can
it.
you can for sure hit that with a short bow. It's like an 80-foot range, I think, with a short bow. It's like
Yeah.
83-20. That hits, and as you unleash, Golas, you see this arrow just come over your shoulder and just arc perfectly, and it's right into the upper back of this goblin, and it is dead. So,
Well, that sucks for him.
mhm.
So as he dies, I make the peace sign next to it, like Jones did to Tyreek Hill in the Super Bowl.
All right. Any other thing you want to do? Any more movement you want to take, or you get there?
That'll be it.
Okay. So this goblin who's up on top of here is still just gonna keep trying to sink an arrow into you, since you are just messing with the time. Jesus Christ! It rolled a 4. So it fails. Raul, it is your turn.
So dash lets you move 60 feet, right?
It does. If you use your movement, you can move 30, and then your action to dash, you can run an additional 30 feet. Up to that, you don't have to
Okay.
take it all, but you can, obviously. So.
Raul is gonna dash this guy's brains out.
Okay, dash and gore him with your horns.
And that, we could quick draw, do it as my free action, draw my great axe, and come in. Whoops.
You missed.
What?
You missed. An 8 misses.
Well, that's fine.
Okay, so Goblin's turn. The goblin who is on Oliver. Both these goblins. So the one on you, Oliver, is going to, since you rolled up on him, he's going to turn and take a scimitar attack at you. So a 15 to hit, which just misses. And then he is going to use his bonus action to disengage, meaning he can run from you and you don't have the opportunity to hit him. 15. So he's not going to run too far. He's just going to run this way. And this other goblin, they're basically switching positions, and this goblin's going to run in and try and hit you with a scimitar.
TV timeout. If the goblin ran out of his engagement zone, when that
It's not. He used disengage as a bonus action and doesn't have any attack of opportunity. So this one swung his scimitar at you for 19 to hit you for 5 damage. So you take 5 damage. And he's going to stay in your face. And basically the goblins switch positions to try and get advantage, which seemed to have worked for them. Kaishar, it is your turn.
Okay. Okay, it's my turn. I'm gonna move in. I don't know. How about to yay? About right here.
'Kay.
That good. What is this thing right here? Is that a campfire?
Um, it's a cauldron that they're brewing stuff in. And if you look over here, that's actually a pot of blood. If you look over here, there's a table of human body parts, a barrel with of legs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Nice.
That's fun. That is fun. Um. Okay. I'm just gonna straight up, the old standby. I'm gonna
Eldritch Blast.
fucking Eldritch Blast.
All right, which one?
Yes.
Sorry.
18.
I
Which
may have
one
just
were you?
rolled twice.
It's fine. You hit him on the first one. Which one were you shooting?
The one by Ty.
Okay, that one right there. So this one. Yep. That's Go ahead and click on Eldritch Blast and roll your damage. Unless you roll
Okay.
a 1, he will die. So click on the actual word Eldritch Blast, the
Sorry.
pink word.
Click
So-
on the word.
hmm
Boom.
1. Okay, so he doesn't actually die.
Motherfucker.
He's still alive,
Fine, the body will
barely.
be
He is
mine.
alive with 1 HP.
Womp womp.
Between 2 attacks, you took off 2 damage. Okay, it's this goblin boss's turn. He sees what's going on. Let's see how close he can actually be. What is it, 30 feet? So he's going to go ahead and jump down and then try and run as close as he can possibly get to the thing that just came charging in. So he can get to about where that goblin is. So he's going to go here. And he is going to throw a javelin, which that might be right on the cusp of a javelin's range. It is, so it's just a straight javelin attack against the Minotaur, and it misses. So he jumps down, whips a javelin towards you, and it just goes right overhead and misses. This
Size
Gob-
of a minotaur.
this goblin, who is literally hanging on by the threads of life,
Human.
swings a club at you to hit you for a 16, which hits for 3 damage. So this goblin commoner actually did something. But yeah, that is the goblin's turn. And Oliver, it is your turn. Looking and feeling pretty hurt, but it's your turn.
I trust my healers to heal me. I'm going to attack.
Okay, go ahead and roll your attack.
Bonus action from inspiration.
So you don't need so the inspiration just gives you an additional roll of a 1d6 on top of an attack roll, a saving throw, and ability check. So if you roll an attack and you are less than what it takes to hit him, you can just roll the d6 one time, and you can just add that to the attack roll if you want to. So it doesn't cost anything to spend it; you just have it to spend. Okay.
Long sword here.
All right. An 8 will miss, and I will tell you that even a 6 will not give you the hit against the goblin. His AC is too high. A 14 will not hit him.
How do I know what I need to hit?
You don't. You can figure it out by basically. So the more that you hit something, you'll figure out what its AC is. Either I'll just tell you if you hit it and say that's its AC, or you're real close, or whatever. Or if you just miss, it just means you're not high enough yet. So there's no real way to figure out the AC of an enemy short of hitting it.
It's probably a 12 or a 13.
I will tell you it's not. I will tell you specifically it's 15.
Okay.
So, like this goblin you're attacking, it's 15, which is why a d6, even if you roll a 6, wouldn't work. I don't want you to waste it. So, because it's impossible with a 6. So, it is. You still have movement and whatnot for your turn. You're looking pretty bloodied, pretty hurt. If you do run, he might try and attack you. He might run. You don't know. It's up to you to choose. What do you want to do? You want to stay? You want to run?
How do I have left?
You have your full movement. You haven't moved yet. Yeah. So.
Hello?
You're here. Yeah, you have your full 30 feet of movement. You haven't moved on this turn yet.
Yeah, you do provoke an attack.
How do I have?
You might not provoke it. It depends. But you have a full 30 feet of movement to go in whatever direction you want to go. If you want to move, you don't have to.
In case you can't hear me, how much HP do I have?
Oh, 4. So you can actually, so you should also, I'm tracking it this session, but I probably won't going forward. So if you're on your D&D sheet, you can see your HP and you can put in the numbers up and down, but you have a total of 4 HP. And everybody actually, oh,
Mine's right.
this is why. This is why you can't see each other's
where's-
HP. Now you can.
Healer.
Now you
Oh,
can.
fancy.
Yeah, now you can see each other's HP.
Oliver looks pretty fucked.
Yeah, he's pretty hurt.
Yeah. I got
Even
one
with
cure
healing
light.
spells.
Bam. Okay, cool. So, you moved. I'm gonna roll a d20 and see if he is going to attack you or if he is going to try and focus his attention on Raoul. If it's 1 to 10, he will take an attack of opportunity at you. If it is 11 or above, he will not. He will not. He will turn his attention to Raoul and look his direction as you manage to flee without provoking an attack of opportunity.
For fuck's sakes.
Golos, it is your turn.
Does spellcasting provoke attacks still?
No. Unless there's...
Really?
Yeah, spellcasting doesn't provoke attacks. No.
Wow.
You can be counterspelled at any time if they have counterspell. You don't have to prepare that or anything. It's just a reaction. But you're not there yet, so when you get there, we'll talk about that more. But yeah, it's the only time that spellcasting can provoke an attack. I think there's a feat called Mage Slayer that might do it, but I don't remember. I'd have to go and look that up. But yeah, regular spellcasting does not provoke an
Way
attack of
back
opportunity.
when you should have broke attack of opportunity, and any damage you take, you pass a concentration test. in
Nope.
order to keep
Well,
it
yeah,
from
whenever you
breaking.
take damage, you still have to pass a con check if you have a concentration spell in effect. So, but Golos, it is your turn.
Okay, that's interesting.
Sacred Flame
Okay.
on who?
Let me see. Oh shit! It's not a cone. Never
Nope,
mind.
It is a single.
misread that.
It is a single dexterity save on a single target.
This dude's an enemy, right?
Yes, he
Yes.
is. He's the big thick boy that jumped off the edge up there.
Nice. Love him thick. So, I'll do Toll the Dead on these two.
On the two guys right there. Okay.
Yeah.
So they both will have to make wisdom saves.
Are any of them hurt?
No.
No, they're both fine. So
Oh, fuck them up.
they're both fine. They're not hurt already, but they both fail. So they both take 8 damage. This goblin, I gotta do it. So this goblin dies. This goblin takes 8 damage. Cool. So as you, so as you start weaving these necrotic symbols in the air again, you make 2 bells appear off in the distance, and one of them just basically covers the goblin's head and just rings it, deafening him and bleeding from the ears, the eyes, the nose. He collapses to the ground, and the goblin boss is trying to wave these bells out of the air, but he takes a significant portion of damage.
Clap back, bitch.
Do you want to do anything with your bonus action or your movement?
For movement, let's see. I will just move 10 feet down here and then call it a day.
Okay. All right, Neo, it is your turn.
All right. So, is Oliver right next to me?
He is.
Yeah.
Okay. And how's he looking?
Real hurt.
He's
Bad.
looking in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
His knee shouldn't bend that way.
Yeah. No. There's more outside than there should be in. You know.
Ah, okay. Well, seeing just using basic logic, I'm going to go ahead and do cure wounds on Oliver.
Nice. So Oliver, you get Jesus. You are healed to max. So
You're welcome.
Wow.
yeah, that's a solid ass cure wounds. Yeah, because your max is 13 and he just heals you for 11. So I mean you're healed up to
Get
maximum
back in
damage.
there, buddy.
Nothing like an old reach around.
Yep. Don't worry, I did Western grip as well.
Was that is that all your spell slots now? Have you used them
Dog
both,
to
or it's just the
bitch
one?
That should have been my second, so I'm gonna have to
Cool.
rest. To...
So if you
I feel like
Yep.
this is a good time for tagline.
Do you want to do anything with
vacuum seal 3000?
There you go. Do you want to do
Alright, so I-
anything with your movement or bonus
Yeah.
action?
So after I healed Oliver, we're gonna go ahead and dip around. How far? Give me a second here. 430. 30. Okay, we'll hop around. No. Hop around here, just in a movement, because I'm going to try and flank these dudes.
Okay, cool.
And then that'll be it.
All right, so this commoner seeing you run and him not being able to hit you, this one that's up here on this thing is actually going to aim their bow down at you, Pete, and just take a bow shot at you and see if he can't hit you with an arrow. Wow, this guy sucks at shooting arrows. He rolled a 9 total and misses. So he's just going to jump off the edge. He's going to roll an athletics check to see if he doesn't like fall on his face as he lands. And he does not. He lands on his feet and stands in front of you and pulls out a scimitar. And it looks like he's going to attack you next opportunity that he gets, which is not right now. But Raoul.
All right.
Is it still a free action and draw your weapon? So you can technically
Yeah, I
do
just
something?
use it as part of the movement. But if you so say you attack with a great axe and then you want to pull out another weapon and switch them, that would be a bonus action or your movement to do it. But if you're just doing it for your first, then I don't care.
No, yeah. All right, I'm gonna free action, draw my great axe, and I'm gonna split this motherfucker in twain.
You miss with a
Or
9.
not.
This guy is just like avoiding death at all cost.
This motherfucker is like a prodigy.
Blinded, isn't he? Isn't this an advantage?
Yes, he is. Go ahead and attack again. This should be a 6.
Ah,
That hits him, I think. Let me double check here. Oh yeah, he dies. He had 15 HP. Or he had 1 HP. He's dead. He is dead. All right.
I did 7.
No, you did 15 slashing damage. It showed up underneath your great axe, so you really split him in twain. Yeah, he's real dead. Anything you want to do as far as movement and bonus action?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move behind Alex here.
So you being a minotaur, since you've no, you already used your action to attack. You can't dash. Never mind. Okay, cool. So you move over there. That's fine. All right. So it's this goblin's turn. He is just gonna run. He had his attention on you, so he's going to. Here's how he's going to move, because they're not stupid. He's gonna do this, thinking this is gonna get him around you. He's gonna do this, which he's smart enough to try and run by, but not smart enough to avoid an attack of opportunity. So he takes this path, and Alex, if you want an attack of opportunity, you have one.
Obviously.
Okay.
He's taking it.
I'm gonna fuck him up with my spear.
Okay.
Maybe.
12 misses.
I'm gonna use my inspiration on that if I can.
Roll a d6.
Professor Snape obviously gained.
okay.
That hits, and you do 5 damage, and you basically cut him off at the knees, and he still like clambers back up to the top. He's still alive. He barely, but he's still alive. He's gonna go ahead and take a scimitar attack at you, Raoul, for a 12 to hit, which just hits, and you take 4 slashing damage.
Oh God! Oh, the Raoul is bloodied. Dios míos!
Yeah, Raoul's real fucked up now. Yeah, Raoul's almost dead. Level 1 man, it's deadly. And then he used 20 feet to get there. He's going to use his bonus action to disengage. And he's going to run the last 10 feet he has, which is this way. Which is not really going to help him get away from the rest of the party, but it's 10 feet away from the big minotaur he just sliced in the back. Which seems like the smart thing for him to do to run away.
Throw it out there. My shirt's fucking ruined.
Kashar.
Okay.
So,
I'm just going.
just so if you
Yeah.
try and cast a spell that requires distance, so any spell that you cast that's not on you, on this guy, it'll be at disadvantage because he's in melee range, just so you know. So if you cast it on this guy, it's a regular roll. It's just the way spell ranges work. Any ranged attack, like a bow, or anything that's not like a sword or like immediate in your face, is at disadvantage because it's range and it's close. So, just so you know.
Gotcha. Good to know. In that case, I guess I will melee with my daggers.
All right, stab.
This-
Do you have two daggers equipped or just one?
I don't know.
I
Where
think
did
you
it tell me that?
I think you have two. If you look in your equipment, if you have two daggers, you can have them both equipped. Let's see. You
Dagger
you have two daggers.
I have two. So 2 daggers slash.
Okay, and
Stab.
because daggers are both, every single character, every class has this. Two weapon fighting. If you have two light weapons, which daggers are light weapons, you can attack with an action and a bonus action to try and do 2 stabs if you want to.
Yes.
So if you want to try and stab him 2 times, the first stab, we'll roll them both and I'll tell you the damage adjustment if you hit them either time. So go ahead, you can stab.
Actually, if possible, I would like to try to stab this guy. And then is it possible to use my bonus action to throw a dagger at this guy?
Sure. It's 2 weapon fighting still. I'll let you throw the dagger at him. Yeah, so roll your first attack on the first guy.
All right. And that. Did I do that right?
Yes, and then click on the dagger button.
I think he got him.
It depends. He could not get. No, he stabs him to death. He dies. So,
100%.
so your offhand weapon, yeah, 5 damage kills him. So your offhand weapon, because it requires a feat, you do not. Once you hit him, if you hit him, you only do 1d4 damage. You don't get the +1 because of rules. So if you hit this guy, you'll do just the regular damage. You just subtract 1. So you can throw that dagger at him or run up and stab him. It is up to you.
I think I'll run up and stab him.
Okay. Run up and just repeat that attack. Try and do a stabby stab.
Yeah.
That misses. So, unfortunately. You run up and try and stab and you hit him in the leathers and it misses. Alright.
Damn.
This goblin boyo is going to he notices the flanking happening, but I'm gonna roll a d20 and we're gonna see if he's gonna go for the guy who's flanking or if he's gonna go for the dude who is hiding the Minotaur. So 1 to 10, he's gonna go for Neo. 11 to 20, Golos.
Bring it, bitch.
He's going to Golos.
Oh.
He can get to right in your face at 30 feet. So, wham. So the goblin thick boy.
That's not me.
I know. I said 1 to 10 is Neo. 11 to 20 is you. So yeah. But he ran straight up there. So
I understood what he was throwing down.
so the first attack is a regular attack, and the second attack's at a disadvantage. So wow, this is a spectrum. The first attack is a nat 20, and the second attack is a nat 1. So the way that damage works for nat 20s is you double the dice and add your modifier. It will automatically probably give you a crit number, which you can ignore. Just highlight over the number. But you take, and if any of you roll a nat 20, I'll just show you what I mean. So you take 6 total damage, Neo.
Fuck.
And his turn is over. Oliver, you see the goblin boss run up and just shank Neo in the side and he just like blood is just not even blood. It's like this dark liquid is just spurting out of his side, and he's looking really fucked up. What do you want to do?
Hey, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, fuck.
I'm just kidding.
You're gonna run up and fuck him up. I like it. All right.
The breadstick of destiny.
Go ahead and roll your attack with your longsword. 19, 100% hits. So click your longsword word, and it will roll the damage. 11 damage. Jesus, you see Neo after freshly being healed by you, and you just get liquid just spurting out everywhere. Oliver just sprints in with his 2-handed freaking breadstick of his dead stick of doom and just like smashes right across this goblin's chest, and just blood spray all over your face and all over your person. The goblin boss goes down to 1 knee. looks up and just says something to you in a language you don't understand and stands back up. He's not dead, but he is real close. That is your turn.
Give your wounds, Neo.
Golos.
Okay, let's see.
You have this guy up here running away who's looking real fucked up, and you have this boss over here who's looking real fucked up.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what I can do.
Death.
So, yeah, I am gonna toll the dead on the boss again.
Okay. And if you hit him, if he fails, it's a d12 because he does have damage. So, just so you know.
Nice, nice.
Oh, he fails.
Oh, he's fucked.
Wow.
Eat shit, nerd.
Max damage, huh? Nice. So, as Neo, as you get shanked and Oliver comes over and slashes down on this goblin spits some, like, just very spittle-laced words. You both just see this giant necrotic bell appear over top of this goblin, and it's almost like an old lady ringing the bell for dinner. It just smashes him on the head, and you hear this ringing just echo out around, and you see this goblin's eyes kind of roll back and then explode in his skull, and blood starts to seep out of his eye sockets, his ears, and his mouth, and he falls to the ground dead at your feet.
Gross.
Right.
Mob.
Anything with your bonus action or movements, Golos?
Let's see. So
You have a really hurt Raoul and a really hurt Neo.
yeah, but you said this dude's running away.
He is running away. I don't think you have any attacks that you can make as a bonus action, though.
Let's see. No, but I do have healing word.
You do have healing word.
So he wouldn't necessarily be able to reach and attack Neo. So
Nope.
I will do healing word on Raoul.
Okay, go ahead and roll your healing word. Raoul, you are healed for 6 HP.
Okay.
Neo, it is your turn.
Well, I can still move.
Oh, you can still move. Wherever you want to move. You got 30 feet.
I will move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, right there.
Okay. Neo, it is your turn. Freshly shanked, goblin dead in front of you. You see the only other real enemy on this battlefield seems to be this goblin over here.
Okay, and all right. Well, I'm looking in a bad way, so I'm gonna hop on over here on the other side of this hut thingy. And then I'm going to try and take out my short bow and attack this goblin because I'm looking in a bad way and I just want this to be over.
Okay, go ahead and make a short bow attack on the goblin.
Boom.
As you limply run over to this tent, whip out your short bow, exhaustedly nock an arrow, pull it back, and unleash it with almost all the effort that you have left. This goblin, as it's starting to run, you catch it at just the right angle, and you see your arrow go right through its thoracic vertebrae, and it kind of tenses up, arms like it's trying to hold its hands up, and then collapse face down in the mud. It does. It had exactly 2 HP with an AC of 15. So you just got him. And with that, the combat is complete.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna run over here.
Okay.
And is that just blood?
It's like blood and bone meal and meat, and it does not look fresh.
I'm gonna go ahead and look for valuables and roll an investigation.
Okay.
I I close my eyes.
Can I search
Okay.
these tents for
Okay.
anything of value?
Roll an investigation.
Good call. Can I investigate the corpse of the goblin
Go for
lord?
it. Go
whatever you
ahead
call him?
and roll an investigation.
I
So
get.
you roll.
Would this be a survival check to see if I could
Nice.
use what's in the pot as like a poison
Damn.
You can roll.
or medicine?
Yeah, roll medicine. As far as the investigation on the body of the goblin boss,
Oh,
well, he rolled a nat 20 on that. I'll give you your information here in a minute. You see that he is wearing a chain shirt and he has a shield. And he was also wielding a scimitar and a javelin. Um, Nothing of those would really fit you anyway because you're bigger than they are. You do see though that they have like 7 silver on their body. That's about it. And your medicine, you would imagine that if you could convince someone to drink this or you ingested it in some way, you might get sick. Not necessarily the effects of a poison, but it would not feel good on the insides.
no goblin aids.
I don't know. Are you gonna drink it and find out?
No, I would just put it in a vial.
You imagine that most of it's probably older human blood, since all the body parts around you seem to be human. So, but yeah, Oliver, you found 7 silver total. And the rest of you didn't really find. The rest of you who were investigating didn't really see anything. You saw just like old weapons that are rusty and gross. You see like training dummies with blood on them, some bone cages, human body parts, and just wood and stone. About it.
Well,
Well,
not finding anything. Raul is gonna grab a torch and chuck it on one of these towers here.
Okay.
This place in the ground.
All right. So go ahead and roll an athletics to see how well you throw this torch.
Go ahead and say I am going to succeed at this. Because Raul has had a string of bad luck. That's 17!
So you see Raul pick up torch after torch, at least these 3. Huck a couple torches up at this one, and another torch over here, another torch over here. And you see it doesn't immediately catch, but the wood does start to catch a blaze. It's not roaring or anything yet, but it is slowly catching fire. And you imagine that with the wood that's kind of split in between here, it's definitely going to burn the 2 towers down, and then it will probably spread to here. And you can set the rest of the camp on fire if you so choose.
Can I use sacred flame and cremate the bodies over here?
Yeah, you can do that. I'll let you do that.
Dope.
Raul wonders why you're showing reverence for the dead.
Raul doesn't need to worry about that just yet.
Raul has a question. Raul would like answer. Surely Raul is not alone for understanding reverence for goblin dead.
No, it was the human.
Yeah, they were the human bodies that he's using the radiance on. Yeah, the goblins, I'm pretty sure you guys just like fucked them up and left them in pieces. So as you
There's not
guys,
much left.
yeah, as you guys finish setting ablaze the camp, finding the little bit of money that was there, you begin to make your way back to the town of Sanwa. And I'll put your guys' updated fucked up tokens on the map with your updated fucked up HP. So you guys make your way back to town. You eventually find the commoner that said they would pay you, and you acquire the 10 gold total from them. So you each get 2 gold apiece, and then he does take you to an inn,
do we have
which
to add that gold ourselves?
yes, I mean I can add it for you if you want, but you each got 2 gold. So if
Oh,
yeah.
dude.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 gold each. Yep. So if you go on to equipment, click on the gold, and then put 2 in the thing and press add, it'll just automatically add it for you. So you guys each get 2 gold for clearing out the goblins, and they give you a place to stay for free at the tavern, the Broken Tusk. And as you walk in, Raoul Jimbo goes, "I'll give you the room for free, but I'm not paying you because I gotta pay to fix my damn stage.
Raul does not pay for stage. Raul's stage time comes from poor workmanship. Don't blame Raul for shoddy workmanship.
Well, he's not gonna charge you for the. He's not gonna try to charge you for it, nor is he going to pay you for earlier. You got whatever tips you got, and that basically was just added into the total gold that you had when you started.
I'd like to try to persuade the club owner to give me the money that he owed Raul.
Hang on a second. I'm not done yet. I would like to persuade. I would like my money. I want to roll a persuasion check. I deserve to be paid, and despite the fact that they can't hold 777 pounds plus a piano.
He will not pay you. You can try and convince him to pay, but you can try Pete and convince him to pay if you want. But the 10 will not do it. 21. He looks, and he kind of growls and he goes, I still gotta pay to fix my stage, so I'll give you 50%. And he gives you, since it was a slower shift anyway, you'll get 5 silver from the total payment, because it's gonna cost about that in labor and materials to fix his stage that broke.
All right.
Maybe this time it will be better. So you obtain 5 silver, so 50% payment. You guys.
I growl at Pete.
Okay. And he gives you guys the meal that you earned, which comes with the room. So you get a meal, you get free drinks, 3 free drinks each, and then he directs you to all of your rooms, and you guys can bed down for the evening, taking a long rest, which gives you all of your spell slots back. You get all of your HP back, and
Yes,
any of your
please.
features back. So if you are on your sheet and you click the long rest button, a thing will pop up at the side, and you click take long rest and then confirm it. If you have any damage or anything, everything basically resets to a new day. Anybody who can change their spells on a daily basis can change spells, and I think that's only only 2 of you. The only 2 of you that can do it are your cleric and your artificer, because bards are per level is when you can change spells.
Mhm.
So if you don't like your spells, you're gonna level up today anyway, so you will change them. But if you,
I know magic pretty well.
But if you, so basically with bards and 5e, you can only change spells when you level up. So if for the first couple levels, up to like, we'll say level 3, if you find that you're just not using certain spells, I'll just let you flip it out for one that you think you'll use. But after like level 3, it'll be whenever you level, you can just switch spells. That way it's kind of more in line with how it's supposed to be. Because I don't like locking people into spells they never use and they hate their character. It's a big thing. So, yeah, so you guys will level up to level 2. And this is where we'll actually end the gameplay for today, and we'll go through the leveling up process so that you guys are level 2, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and end this recording, and